Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to Cosmic Consciousness with Kassia. On this channel, we discuss all aspects of the ascension process. I have a variety of services that I offer to assist in your awakening journey, and you can find those listed in the description box below. Today, we're going to be talking about the full moon in Libra, and this is occurring on or around the 16th of April, 2022, depending on where you are in the world. This full moon is powerful, you guys. And the energy of this full moon is very much about power. We have the moon at 26 degrees of Libra, opposing the sun as it always does during a full moon at 26 degrees of Aries. We also have the sun in conjunction with Eris, which on this channel we refer to as the feminine warrior planet. Eris is actually a dwarf planet similar in size to Pluto, that resides on the outskirts of the galaxy just as Pluto does, amidst all of the other trans-Neptunian planets or asteroids or whatever it is that you would like to call them. So she embodies the energy of Pluto as well as the energy of Mars, but in a very feminine form. There's a feminine fire to her. And so our inner warrior is really being activated at the time of this full moon. And it's opposing against that Libran energy, right? The Libran moon is that energy that really wants to get along with people, right? It really enjoys the beautiful things in life, creating those beautiful experiences, creating art, creating harmony with the people around it. One of the energies that Libra can fall into is the energy of people pleasing, because Libra likes everyone to get along, right? Libra is the mediator, the politician, that charming, charismatic energy. And it is a beautiful energy that does bring people together, that does seek to find and restore harmony and balance in all aspects of life, but that can, like we said, sometimes fall too much into that energy of going with the flow in order not to rock the boat. This full moon, however, is really about rocking that boat. Not only do we have the sun conjunct Eris, but we also have a T-square being made between the sun, the moon, and Pluto. So we have that Plutonian energy coming in as well, really activating us, really asking us to understand this axis of energy here with Libra and Aries. Aries is the energy that represents the individual, the self, the will, right? And the masculine energy in many ways. And then we have Libra, which, like we said, represents the other. And so where is the balance between ourselves and the other? This full moon is really going to be asking us to look at our boundaries, how it is that we maintain and create our boundaries. Are we able to uphold those boundaries? There may be power struggles or power plays that are present, especially in our relationships. And remember, Libra deals not necessarily with more collective energies, but with our more personal relationships. So we're going to see these power struggles and energies present in our most intimate relationships, as well as within ourselves as well. The way we relate to ourselves, to the world, and absolutely through others. And the way that we see and learn about our identity and ourself through the other. This is really important, and this energy is going to come into play in a lot of ways. We have a lot of Piscean energy that is present during this full moon as well. We have Venus, who is the ruler of this full moon, as she is the ruler of Libra. Another thing that makes this Venusian energy really strong during this full moon is the fact that it's happening at 26 degrees, which is a Taurian degree. So anything at 26 degrees is going to take on a little bit of a Taurus flavor and a Taurus vibe. We also have Mercury conjunct Uranus in Taurus right now. So a lot of that Taurian and Libran energy, which are both ruled by the planet Venus, really bringing this energy and these Venusian concepts to the forefront. So we're looking at our material world, right? And when we're looking at power and control, we may be looking at it through the lens of our material world, our finances, our physical bodies as well. We are looking at relationships once again. We're looking at love, all of that Venusian stuff. We're looking at pleasure, comfort, security, stability. And with that Libra energy, where it is that we can find balance, where all of these things are and where the balance of power feels on or off in relation to any of these things. All right, we are noticing where it is that we feel powerless and where it is that we feel powerful and where it is that we're giving away our power. We have that conjunction of Neptune and Pisces in full force during this full moon. And so I'm definitely feeling this full moon as bringing out some of those energies that we're working with this conjunction, especially when it comes to where it is that we give our power away. And for any of you who haven't watched the video, I highly recommend that you watch both of the videos that I did on the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction. But especially that first one where we really examined a lot of these energies. So that energy of power over, who has power over us? Where have we given our power away? Where is it that we have true power in our lives? Are we able to live that? Are we able to exemplify that? Are we able to take control where we are meant to take control? Do we have a strong identity and understanding of ourselves? Do I know where I end and you begin? Do we define ourselves by our own definition, or do we allow others to define us and our relationships to others to define us, right? This energy, when we're working with Venus and Pisces, when we're working with this conjunction, it's very much an energy, and Libra as well, where we can sometimes lose ourselves in others. And we can sometimes identify ourselves or see ourselves through the lens that other people see us through and allow that to create our perception or our reflection of ourselves. Where are we being true to ourselves and where are we playing to the crowd, right? Where are we playing it safe? Where are we agreeing just for the sake of harmony and agreement? Where are we compromising, but in that process compromising ourselves? These are some of the questions that we're going to be asking ourselves as we enter into this full moon. And we know that we've had a lot of energy going on with relationships lately. Throughout 2022 with that Mars-Venus conjunction, all the energies there with Saturn conjunct Juno and the other planets that we had involved moving through that conjunction. We have Mars and Saturn both active, trining the sun and the moon during this full moon, which is adding that energy of that sense of duty and that sense of taking action. There's a strong need with this full moon to take action, especially when it comes to our relationships, when it comes to our boundaries. And like we said, when it comes to our power, our knowing and understanding of our own power, where it is that we give that away and where it is that we're ready to take that back. I want to see if there's anything else that I want to mention about this full moon before we get into the reading here. Let's see. Yes, we have Venus, as we said, the ruler of this moon, in a sextile to that Uranus-Mercury conjunction in the sign of Taurus. And so this is actually, I feel, a very beneficial energy. Well, sextiles are often beneficial, but I feel it is even more beneficial because what it's doing is it's giving our mental energy with Mercury in the sign of Taurus is very grounded, right? It's very stable. And even though we are conjunct Uranus, which can sometimes be the opposite of stability, right? It is the instability sometimes that creates greater stability in the long run. But it's that planet that gets us to think differently, to see things differently. It really broadens our minds and our perspectives. So we are getting a major activation of our mental bodies and a broadening of our minds with this conjunction. But it's also very stabilized in the sign of Taurus. So we're able to apply the insights and the downloads that are coming through in a very real world way. And there's a stability and a structure to them, a longevity to them. So when we have this aspect to Venus, any of these issues that we're talking about when it comes to relationship, when it comes to finances, when it comes to our power, when it comes to anywhere where we are lacking that stability and security, and we are desiring more of it, this connection is going to bring forth those ideas and inspirations and show us how to implement them. So it's really giving a beautiful stabilizing energy that we can use moving forward. We're getting constructive solutions. That's a big energy that I felt coming through with this. Is that energy of constructive solutions. It is that energy of seeing and understanding things and being able to apply them. And like we said, the Mars and Saturn action is really calling on us to apply what it is that we're understanding and what it is that we are learning. So let's get into the cards here. I've been looking at the Queen of the Moon Oracle all day, every time I've sat down at my desk. So I want to get some Queen of the Moon Oracle cards out for us first to get us started for this reading for the full moon in Libra. Clear. This Uranian energy, very relevant and this Taurian energy as we move toward that new moon eclipse in Taurus on April 30th. And while we are not doing a full moon ceremony this month, we will be doing a new moon ceremony on that eclipse. All right, so that's going to be a powerful one. And the information for how to join that will be in the description box below. But we're looking into these energies, these Uranian energies as well, because that eclipse is going to occur at 10 degrees of Taurus, which is where Uranus was for most of 2020 and the very beginning of 2021. So we've had a lot of action around this point in the sky. So I find it interesting that we have Uranus active and all of these Taurian energies already active during this full moon. So we're really getting an idea of some of the areas where we're wanting to bring in that stability, that security. One thing we do want to pay attention to during this full moon is that we don't get swept away too much. Especially when it comes to, we got the Pisces energies, we got the Taurus energies, we got the Libra energies, all this Venus energy in the air. And so we may, like the desire for pleasure and indulgence may be high. And so we want to temper that, and we want to make sure that we're doing that in moderation in the way that's the most productive for us. I'm also feeling like people getting swept away kind of in like flights of fancy. I don't know why, but that energy, which is very Neptunian, right? We got that conjunction going on. I just feeling that energy kind of coming through too. It's not always a bad thing. We just want to be careful. We want to pay attention to what it is that we're committing to during this time. And we want to utilize, I look down, the card here is discernment. I was going to say we want to utilize this Mercury and Taurus energy of this really grounded, stable mental body and mental focus. So there's a level of discernment that we're being called to utilize and practice during this full moon in Libra. Let's get a little more energy on that. Tell me more about this discernment energy. Speaking of, so we have peace and pleasure coming out. And these are the two energies that Taurus, speaking of Taurus, right, craves the most. But Libra, also being ruled by Venus, also craves these things. So are the things that are bringing me pleasure bringing me peace? I feel like that's something that some people are going to be questioning or needing to discern or practice discernment around. And we really want to see and understand. Because I think that sometimes pleasure gets a little bit of a bad rap. Like people think about pleasure and, for instance, if we're talking about Taurus energy, right? They think about pleasure as indulgence. Right? But pleasure can be a beautiful thing. We are meant to experience pleasure. I mean, look at this card. Does that not look wonderful? We can't get swept away. Anything good. We can get swept away by anything good if we have too much of it, right? We don't, and that's where that Libra energy of balance comes in. We don't want too much or too little. We want just enough. All right? But this is like really like what I'm feeling this energy saying is, this full moon is asking you to discern, to look at the things in your life, to look at the relationships, absolutely, and say, is this bringing me peace? Is this bringing me pleasure? And if not, Why? Is this something, is this someone that is worthy of my time, that is worthy of my effort, that is worthy of my pursuit? That's what this full moon wants you to look at in every aspect of your life. Is this bringing me peace? Is this bringing me pleasure? Because believe it or not, we deserve both of those things, and we should have those things. We have hunger on the bottom of the deck. So there is an incredible hunger and desire for this peace and this pleasure, for this beauty, right? For all of these beautiful Venusian qualities and energies. Remember, yes, our relationships, they are here to teach us, right? They're here to grow us. Every soul contract that we have with every individual is for that purpose, right? But there's something that somebody said to me once, and it always stuck with me. They were talking about relationships, and they said, like, if it doesn't add enjoyment to my life, then there's no reason for it to be a part of my life. Like, I am good, whole, and complete on my own. I don't need anybody else to complete me. I don't need anybody else in order to be satisfied and okay. And because I am whole and complete within myself, I'm only allowing relationships that add to my life. If it detracts from, that, like, that math doesn't add up, right? We're multiplying. We're always multiplying. And so looking at that when it comes to the relationships in our lives, does this add to or detract from my life, from my peace, from my pleasure, from my happiness? And really paying attention to where it is that we're taking on other people's energies, right? Not only just allowing them to form our identity, right? Other people's judgments and perceptions. But where it is that we are, remember, this Venus in Pisces is a merging energy. It likes to merge, it likes to unify. But we have to have some level of boundary as well. We don't want to lose ourselves completely in another. We don't want to, especially with this conjunction of Jupiter and Neptune, which is going to be really powerful for empaths. We don't want to be taking on everybody else's energy, everybody else's problems, everybody else's issues like a sponge. All right? We don't want to be overly identifying ourselves with other people's struggles or other people's journeys in a way that is unhealthy for us. We're going to be looking at themes of codependence as well. Right? Interdependence versus codependence. Can I strike a balance there? And really, there is no balance. There is no balance to be struck there. We want to be interdependent. We do not want to be codependent. All right? And codependency rears its head in a lot of different ways. All right? If my happiness is based on your happiness, that is codependence. If I need your approval of me in order to be okay, that's codependence. Right? There's so many different ways that codependence exists. And so we want to be healing that. We want to be bringing light to that, because that's just another way that we give our power away. Protection. Yeah, we want to be protecting our energy. We want to be protecting our space, the sanctity and sacredness of our space, of our being, of our energy. I feel like for some people during this full moon, there is going to be that desire to kind of like see how she's all curled up in the nest here. To kind of curl up in the nest. It's interesting because it's a Libra full moon. But like we said, that Taurian energy is coming in strong, just as is that Pisces energy. But there's a lot of expansion that's possible here. Through peace and pleasure. Through meditation, right? You notice what she's doing on this card? We're always being told to meditate. It never fails. But through finding that calm-centered place within. Through experiencing pleasure and allowing ourselves to be drawn to the things, to the experiences that bring that pleasure for us. Libra is very much about art, right? very much about music, about creation. So there's a powerful energy of creation here. Yeah. And then we have resilience on the bottom of the deck. But look at this. Look how heavy that looks. What she's carrying there. What is that we say all the time, right? Put that down, that doesn't belong to you. It's time to check in. We got wisdom underneath that. And beauty. Check in with ourselves. The burdens that we're carrying. Are they necessary? Are they worth it? Are they ours to carry? I want to pull a Shaman's Dream Oracle. And then I don't use the Osho Zen Tarot very much, but it's kind of calling to me right now, so we might use a couple cards from there too. Clear. Full moon in Libra. Tell us something. What do we need to know and understand about this full moon? There's also energies too where I'm feeling like some people maybe just as there are people who give their power away too easily, there are some people have difficulty with boundaries. There are also people who do the opposite, right? Where we build walls, where we don't allow people in at all for fear of being hurt, for it's like this protection, this armor that we wear. And so some people may be noticing during this full moon as well, where it is that your armor is a little too heavy. Your armor is weighing you down. Where all of a sudden you realize that these protective mechanisms that you've been using to prevent yourself from getting hurt, to prevent your power from being siphoned, right, have actually prevented you from being able to make connections that do increase your enjoyment of life. And so there's some energy of letting down the walls. Some people may be called to let down the walls, seeing where the walls they've built are too high. Yeah, there's something else that was wanting to come through, but we'll see if it does. So we've got a Magician's Sword, confidence in your magic. Ooh, I like it. All right, so there's that empowerment here, right? And what do we do with the sword too? The sword is used to cut away that which doesn't serve. Right? The sword represents truth. It represents communication. Interesting. Ooh, Moon Maiden, new beginnings on the bottom of the deck. Ooh, and then we have Eye of the Needle, intentionality. And that looks very similar to this, doesn't it? So this feels very much like the Magician card in the tarot here. So there's an opportunity. You are being asked to speak with intention during this full moon. To create with intention, to speak with intention, to pay attention to the internal dialogue and what that is creating. We want everything that we do to be with intention. We don't want to be moving haphazardly through our lives right now. We want to focus on an intention behind everything that we do. That focus can be peace. That intention can be peace. It can be beauty, right? Pleasure. That is absolutely a worthy pursuit. That is a worthy intention. It can be a creation, right? Manifesting. It can be whatever you want it to be. But you want to have a firm intention, and you want to make sure that you are speaking and acting with intention. Knowing what it is that you want to create, what new beginnings it is that you want to sow. And so this is really the energy of using this full moon to create your magic. Remember, full moons are traditionally a time of releasing, but they're also a time of harvest. They're the time when the moon is the fullest in the sky. Its energy is the most powerful. That's why our emotions tend to be magnified, right? That's why everything seems to be heightened. but the magic, the potential for magic is also heightened. So what is it that you want to create? Do you have confidence in your ability to create, in your power? Right? Do you recognize your word as part of your power? Your intention, remember, intention is your most powerful tool. Do you have a strong intention with everything that you say, with everything that you do? Really examining our intentions. Ooh, this deck is so cool. I love just pulling off the bottom of this right now. We have skywriting the fates as the next card. And once again, look at the moon and that, you guys. Lots of moon energy coming through here. So there is a fated energy coming through here. And I'm feeling that energy once more of fate versus destiny, right? The destined path versus the fated path. What are you choosing? What has been written can always be rewritten. All right, that's what we're doing right now. We are rewriting, we are revising the story. I feel like this is an energy of surrendering to fate for some, but also for others. I feel like this is an energy where you may be noticing and realizing that something that you had accepted in your life as just like, this is fate, this is what was meant to be, this is what will always be. You're beginning to question that now and wonder if that's true. Whether this is like you thought you were fated to be with a certain person, you thought you were fated to have a certain job, to live in a certain place, to do a certain thing. Now you're realizing that it's much more open to, that you have a lot more power when it comes to your life than you thought you did. The things that you thought were fated may not necessarily be, that you can change your fate at any time. And this is also a reminder to look to the stars. It's written in the stars. All right? Everything you need to know and understand is written in the stars. And for some people, this may be a call to explore your astrology more. If you guys want to explore your astrology more, please reach out to me as well. I do personal chart readings and transit chart readings. But yeah, there's this energy of realizing that you get to create your own fate. That isn't dictated, that is not created for you as you once thought it was. And so there's a new beginning that's able to emerge when you take the pen. That's what it feels like. It feels like you take the pen and you decide what it is that you want to create. You change your fate. I like that. I'm going to pull a couple Zodiac of the 108 before we go to the tarot. Clear. Do we have any deeper clarification here or any more energies that want to come out around this, or I guess anything new if we want to change topic? Okay. We have the corset held together, boundaries. All right. People pleasing. Okay, there's that energy that we're moving out of. Restriction, right? Following the rules. I feel like someone's really been, and this is part of that fated energy too, really following the rules to your detriment. It's kind of like that energy of, as we move into this full moon, all of a sudden you realizing like, I've been doing everything by the book and where has it gotten me? All right. It's like taking control and getting ready to shift out of that energy. The answer is no, all right? So we got the corset coming out with no. So this is learning to say no. This is learning to hold your boundaries. This is learning to 4-4. Oh, 4-4-4. We got 3 4s coming out, you guys. I love it. And the scuba diver is the next 4 here. going within, self-examination, exploring the unconscious. Yeah. 0 point. This is learning how to say no. It's like busting out where it is that you've allowed yourself to be restricted. And sort of going with the flow, going with the crowd. There's a deeper self-examination going on right now. And you're rewriting that story, right? That's that 0 point energy. Neutralizing that energy. Yeah, then we got the biker coming out, breaking the rules, loving the freedom, the outlaw, the maverick, all right? So this is going from, this is like when, you in a straight button-up polo type shirt, right? Versus pulling off the polo and busting out the leather jacket, all right? Just really doing this deep dive into the self, realizing where it is that you've conformed to others for too long, and you've really neglected your own beauty. You've neglected your own pleasure, right? Your own peace in order to facilitate that in others. And now you're coming to realize that your own peace is worth just as much as another's. All right? And you're not going to find that by adhering to the status quo, by doing what other people want you to do. And so you're setting some firm boundaries. You're saying no where people don't even ask you anymore. That's the energy I'm getting here for somebody. Is you say yes so often that people don't even bother asking anymore. They just assume you're going to do whatever they want you to do. All right? And so now you're coming out with a resounding no, which is absolutely, I love it. I love it. Then look what fell out here. Yes. Saying no to others, or we don't even have to say to others. Saying no is saying yes to yourself. All right. That's what somebody's realizing here. Look at the freedom here. When you say no to the things that don't feed your soul and you say yes to the things that do. When you say yes to your freedom. When you take that ride. All right. That's what this full moon is asking you to do. Really go deep inside yourself. Does this bring me peace? Does this bring me pleasure? All right. And if not, it's time to let it go. All right. You get to choose. Do you say no or do you say yes? What is your destiny? You are the writer of your destiny. You are the author of your story. Crystal ball, intuition, seeing clearly. Discernment. All right. Do you guys see that? It says discernment on there. Third word. I know it's backwards, but you guys you're all geniuses. You can read that. You know what's up here. All right. Seeing clearly, practicing that discernment. All right. A deeper sense of knowing and instinct. It's like allowing your instinct and your intuition to take over. There's a deep knowing bubbling beneath the surface when it comes to some aspect or area of our lives or our consciousness. We're really being asked to get into the practice, to start learning how to act swiftly out of our instinct. All right, how to allow that to be our guide. Yeah. I feel almost too like somebody around this full moon is getting like a major premonition, or they're getting a glimpse into their future. That's almost what it feels like. Somebody's getting a glimpse, a vision, or a daydream, something you mistake as a daydream, but that's actually a premonition maybe. You're seeing what's possible for you. And that energy is what's allowing you to move out of this. There's a deeper level of awareness coming through. Yeah. And we're really getting discerning when it comes to our friendships, when it comes to our relationships, when it comes to the ways that we are utilizing our energy, when it comes to who we feel like celebrates us and makes us feel that life is something worth celebrating, and who it is that's kind of like the Debbie Downer, bringing down the party, right? Bringing down the vibe. And I know it says cruel to say it like that, but we want to be surrounding ourselves with the people who carry the kind of energy that we're wanting to embrace, that we're wanting to move into. That doesn't mean that we're not there for the people we care about when they need us. But if we are constantly, if our role is a counselor or a caretaker, and it's supposed to be a friend or a lover, there's an imbalance there. All right? If somebody is constantly, it's like what's coming through right now is that quote that says like, a negative person has a problem for every solution. Like, if our friends are constantly in an energy like that, sometimes we gotta let them go. All right? If our relationships are constantly dragging us down, if our partners are dragging us down instead of lifting us up, then it's almost our responsibility to let them go, right? For our own good. Then we have uncertain. There's a lot of there's a level of uncertainty. It's like coming out of that uncertainty into a deeper level of clarity is really what I feel. So we're going to get clear. A couple of Oshos in to close this out. What guidance for this full moon in Libra? Give me some guidance for this full moon in Libra. Need closing guidance here. All right, we have silence. Once again, with that moon, right over the third eye. So there's that contemplation. There's that connection. Courage. Then we've got fighting and rebirth coming out, which is interesting. So what it feels like to me is like there is an awareness fighting to take root within you. Fighting to come up to the surface, to be heard, to be seen. That awareness comes in the silence. And then it's like, I feel like you've had to fight for this rebirth, for this metamorphosis. It has not come easy. It has not come easy. It's really required a lot of, it's requiring you to have courage, to really step into your courage, to have faith in yourself, in your capabilities. In this picture, it's I know it's a daisy here, but it's reminding me of like the rose that grew from concrete, right? Or the lotus. Right? It comes from the mud. Right? This beautiful flower blooms out of the mud. It's like this quiet courage that's been building within you. As you've continued to fight for this rebirth. You've earned it. You are not the delicate flower that you once thought you were. All right? You are a fierce warrior. Moving beyond illusion, seeing a deeper truth. Right? Judgment. See, it's like you're seeing the truth of who you are. Where I feel like somebody, whoever some of this is for, you've really thought less of, you haven't thought a whole lot of yourself. And part of this could have been because of the reflection you were getting from other people in your life who didn't have your best interests at heart, or who didn't know how to see the good in you because they couldn't see the good in them. All right, but people contributed to, and with the past lives card on the bottom of the deck, it's possible that past life experiences as well contributed to this mislabeling yourself, this not seeing your own truth, not seeing your own potential, not seeing your own strength. It's like you identified yourself in a certain way. What you saw was not real. All right, what you saw was a gross misrepresentation of who and what you really are. And you're starting to see more of the beauty of who you really are. How strong you are, how confident you are, right? How capable you are. And that knowing is growing very slowly, has been growing very slowly inside of you. It started out as a very gentle thing, and it's growing in strength. You're growing in resilience, that resilience energy coming through again. Right? You're seeing beyond the illusion. You're moving beyond the programming of past lives, right? Completing a cycle, I think, that you started in past lives. A cycle that involved not seeing your worth, playing second fiddle, taking a back seat, catering to other people, putting others before yourself, putting others' peace, pleasure, and happiness before your own. And now you're moving beyond that. You're seeing yourself as worthy. You're seeing yourself as capable, and you're seeing yourself as just as important as everyone else, anyone else. Yeah, breakthrough and existence here. All right? Boom. This is a beautiful breakthrough. This is powerful. This full moon is going to be powerful for somebody. Really getting a whole new understanding of you, your place within the cosmos, right? Your place in your own life. Your place and your purpose. How it is that the difference that you make in the world, in the lives of others, where perhaps you didn't think it was a whole lot, and now you're realizing it's much more than you thought. How much you really contribute. You're recognizing your own worth. You're recognizing your own value. And you're finally ready to have that, to demand that be reflected to you by the outside world. Transformation, the source. Come on. Guilt. Releasing this guilt and the shame and all of these emotions that keep you trapped. And this might have something to do with the past life energy too, right? You feel guilty for experiencing joy and pleasure. Right? You feel guilty feeling good when other people feel bad. You feel guilty having things that other people do not. Right? You're always comparing and judging yourself against others. And feeling, it's this energy of feeling like if I have, somebody else has not. Right? Or how dare I be happy right now when there's so much pain and sadness in the world. When the people in my life are not fulfilled, how dare I find fulfillment? Right? Goes back to that codependency energy too of I can't be fulfilled if you're not. This feeling of being indebted. Right? All of that energy goes away. You tap into the source, right? You tap into your true power. This is a huge solar plexus activation too, right? And you allow yourself to be transformed. You find that I am energy, right? You tap into your I am frequency, your I am power, and you utilize that. Work with the I am affirmations, right? I am transformed. I am powerful. I am brave. I am beautiful. I am courageous. I make a difference. I matter. I am important. I am valid. My feelings, my thoughts, my desires are valid. This is huge for somebody. This is massive. This is intensity coming up, completion. Yeah, maturity. I wanted to say like your whole life has been building up to this point. I don't know if that's necessarily, that may be a little bit too dramatic. Many, many lifetimes have been building up to this point. This is a huge, massive breakthrough. There is like an old aspect of your consciousness is truly dying. And the phoenix is absolutely rising. Like what comes out of this, the next version of you that's being born right now is a force to be reckoned with. All right, I love you guys. I appreciate you. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, hit that like button. Drop a comment down below and let me know. As I said, we're not doing a full moon ceremony this month, but we will be doing one next month, and we will be doing the new moon ceremony for the eclipse, solar eclipse in Taurus. And so stay tuned for that. The information on how to join that will be in the description box below. I believe it's probably going to be on the 31st. I have to look at my calendar and look at the dates. We haven't set an official date for that yet. So don't absolutely quote me on that. We like to do it as close to the actual moon as possible, but scheduling different things. So I'll let you guys know. If you want to do any one-on-one work with me, my information, my email is in the description box below. Please reach out to me. If these videos are helping you and you feel inclined to donate to the channel, there are links to do that down below as well. Or just share this with a friend, right? Keep getting the message out there. It all helps. Your time and your love and your appreciation is the greatest donation that there is. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for being here with me. Have an amazing full moon.